Hey guys, this is John from Integral Camera Solutions. Today we're going to be reviewing the TC22 trail camera from CamPark. So let's get started. So guys, this is the first trail camera I've reviewed on this channel, and as I've wanted to expand to different types of cameras, I've definitely considered trail cameras. I've actually played around with trail cameras in the past. I bought a trail camera for a family member and they put one on their property in the woods, and it was pretty cool. I was able to get a lot of cool pictures of deer and turkey and other wildlife on their property, but that was a handful of years ago, and the technology has gotten a lot better, and the video quality also on trail cameras is excellent compared to just a few years ago. CamPark offered to send it to me for review, so I'd like to thank them for sending me this review unit. And as usual, if you are interested in purchasing this camera, check the links down in the description. They are Amazon affiliate links that do help support my work on this channel. I have looked at trail cameras before they reached out to me because I was looking for trail cameras, and when they contacted me I was thinking, oh man, this is like exactly sort of what I'm looking for. Now I want to give a bit of a spoiler here. You can see I have one right here, and I ended up buying a second one because I actually really liked this camera so much. For my personal use, I wanted a second one, and I'm going to talk about everything I liked about this and everything that wasn't as great, but let's get into it. Now the first thing obviously is it says it's a solar integrated hunting camera. Now there's not a whole lot on this box, so let's look at the actual camera. Now I do have quite a lot of stuff on it right now. That's because I have a lock on here and the strap. What you're going to get in the package is two of these tree straps. You're going to get a power cord, and what I really like about this is it is USB-C. So in 2023 I can't stand when products are still using micro USB. It is such an ancient USB type that it's just inexcusable, I think, when companies are still using USB or micro USB. And you do get a manual. Now this camera also has Wi-Fi, so we're going to get into the Wi-Fi aspect later. It does allow you to use a smartphone app on Android or iOS. But let's take a look around the camera first. What's really great about this camera is it has two cameras actually. One is a 4K camera, and it does use a Sony IMX458, I believe the model is, which does give you true 4K. Now there's a lot of cameras out there, I know from experience in the dash cam industry, that will claim that they're 4K, but they are not true 4K or native 4K because they're just using a image sensor that has lower resolution or pixels than true 4K, and they upscale it through software, so you're just blowing up the pixels. This is true 4K. The second camera is a low light or nighttime camera because this does have infrared to record at night. Down here you can see these are the sensors. I believe they're called PRS or PIS. I can't remember off the top of my head. As I said, I'm sort of new to trail cameras, but this one has three because it's pointing in obviously three directions to try to get a quicker reaction time. So the camera will take a picture and take video as soon as it detects motion. Now you can choose to only record a video or only take a photo, but I highly recommend doing the option for both. So they advertise a 0.1 second reaction time, and I will say that from the footage you'll see in a second that the pictures are very quick, but for the camera to wake up and start recording video, that takes a little bit of time. So from my experience, if an animal runs past the camera really close to it, you might not capture it. Or with a lot of my clips, you see the animal in the middle of the video, because the video takes a little bit of time for the camera to wake up and then start recording. And as I said, with all my experience with dash cameras, that's not unexpected. That's pretty typical for any sort of cameras that are in some sort of low sleep or low power sleep mode with motion detection. Of course, the big selling point is this solar panel on top. And I was a little skeptical at first, I'll be honest. I thought this was such a small solar panel. I had a hard time believing that it was going to stay powered. Now the default for videos is a 10-second clip, and I just left it at that. I set this up for 3 weeks, and it was in a wooded area. You know, there's some sky, some tree cover, so it wasn't super bright all the time, but at the same time, you know, there was a little bit of sunlight. And never once when I checked the camera was it less than 100% battery life. So I think that's excellent. Now installing it, like I said, you get 2 of these tree straps, and it's pretty simple to set up. It's a very basic clip. You just slide it, tighten it up, clip it on, and then I recommend getting a lock like this Master Lock Python. And one of my issues with this camera, one of my cons, is this is a pretty standard lock. This was actually a lock recommended, or on Amazon it said that many people that bought trail cameras bought this same lock, and it came with 2. But this end point was actually too thick to fit through the hole. So what I did is I used this cheap Walmart file. You can get a whole set of these for like $7 at Walmart. And I ran this through the hole several times, or for a minute or 2, just cleaned it up, made it slightly bigger, and now this Python lock fits just fine. Now you can get Python locks that are thinner, but I did want to get a pretty heavy duty one, so I really like this lock, and plus it's got camo, so matches a little bit. Another thing I got was this little Brinks padlock with just a little dial. You know, it's nothing crazy, but basically I put it on the door right here, and you know, it keeps honest people out of here. If some thief really wants to get this, they're going to use bolt cutters and get through it. But you know, it's just a little bit more peace of mind that someone at least won't steal your memory card or something. So let's take a look inside and take a look at the menu. So on the side we got 2 clips. Obviously this is going to be waterproof. Normally there's going to be a bunch of AA batteries, and that's one thing that's turned me away from trail cameras. AA batteries cost a lot. This has built-in rechargeable batteries, and as I said, even in a pretty wooded area, the solar panel kept this fully charged every time I checked it. On the side here, you can see there's a screen. There's a couple different modes here. There's off, setup, and on. So I think most people will realize what that means. Now I'm not going to go through every little detail here, but let's turn it to setup. And what's funny is that sound right there is exactly like a lot of dash cameras. So in setup, basically you can go through the menu. Alright guys, so I hope you can see this pretty well. So there's a couple menu options along the top. The first one is the main system settings. So we got mode with photo, video, or photo plus video. Like I said, I recommend keeping both on. PIR interval, that's the sensors. I couldn't remember the name of those. So that is set to 30 seconds, where if it senses motion, it's not going to detect motion until 30 more seconds. And then of course the sensitivity. You can take a time lapse if you would like. Night shoot mode is basically auto. It's going to switch to the infrared night mode either earlier at night, in the evening, or earlier in the morning during dawn. With more color, it's going to do color video for longer periods of time in the morning or evening. The IR LED, basically I have that set to auto because I just want it to turn on when it detects that it's nighttime. Low battery at night. If the battery is getting low, you can tell it to not use the IR LED, or you can just have it no recording. A monitoring period is if you would like to set a certain time that the camera actually is active and waiting for motion, such as nighttime only. Side PIR setup is obviously just if you want to use the side sensors. Frequency, you're going to want that at 60 Hertz in the US. I'm not sure why this affects a trail camera, but in the dash cam world, that is due to the fact that certain LED lights will flicker depending on what hertz it's recording at in different regions of the world. So we got the image size. You can select different megapixels for day or nighttime. I just left it at default. You can have it take multiple photos if you want. I just have set it to one photo. Shutter speed. A longer shutter speed is typically going to get better quality at night. A shorter shutter speed might be a little sharper, but really just depends on personal preference. I just left it on the default. Resolution, you got daytime resolution. Default is 4K at 30 frames per second. Nighttime default is 1080p at 30 frames per second. It does have this option for a little bit higher, but that's something to consider. Video length, the default is 10 seconds, but you can go shorter or longer. Record audio, I left that on by default. I do like to hear the audio. I think it makes the videos a little more dynamic. And then we got a few more system settings, like formatting your card, date and time. So if you want to turn the camera on, you're going to switch it all the way to on, of course. And down below you can see there is a full-size SD card slot. So to use the Wi-Fi app, if you hit the up button while you're in the setup mode, it will give you a QR tag to download the app. And then once you have the app, Wildlife Cam, you can start connecting to it. And I found the process sometimes is a little slow. I was a little confused a couple times where I thought I would have to hold the button down and I couldn't figure out why it wasn't connecting, but I just let it do its thing and connect. There we go, it's connected. So now you can see there's a live feed right there. You can see my hand underneath it. And from here, we can see, again, the live feed. You can switch to camera mode or video mode. You can view the files on here. And I believe I recently cleared the memory card, but that's where there would be files if you had any. And now we got the settings. So you can change all of the same settings from your phone. Now, personally, I don't think it's that useful, other than the fact that you can format your memory card. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's format it. Success. You can add a camera name. I have an integral cam. You can have date stamp, format, date format, all of the same settings that you'd expect. Personally, I don't think it's convenient to go into the app to change the settings. It's a lot quicker to just do it from the actual camera, but what I do like about it is if you are connected, it is nicer to watch the clips you have recorded on the camera, and then you can transfer them to your phone quickly, just the ones you want. Then you don't have to take the memory card out. So guys, I'm going to show some more sample footage of this camera. As I said earlier, I did notice that while the camera advertises 0.1 second reaction time, which is quicker than a lot of the other cameras I've seen on Amazon, you do have to remember that when it comes to video, you do not capture video as quickly as you capture a picture. And one of the examples I can show you is I captured a pretty large looking coyote on our property. Saw him in the picture, but when I was watching the video earlier, you can see here the video started while he was already leaving the frame. Now, I didn't even realize it was a coyote at first. I assumed it was a fox because I have a lot of videos of a fox running through the area, and I believe the fox actually lives on the neighbor's property. So if it wasn't for that picture, I wouldn't have realized that that was a coyote. So that's one of the reasons I recommend having the pictures and videos on at all times. One thing I experienced at first was I had a tree branch in front of the camera, and you can see that in some of these clips that the infrared is reflecting off those tree branches, and it sort of gives a worse picture for the background. So I'd make sure that there's nothing directly in front of the camera. Overall, I think the daytime quality looks great. The 4K does look really good. You can notice a drop in quality at nighttime, of course, because it is 1080p, and with that more color mode for lower light conditions, it does record in color during dusk or dawn, but you'll notice that it is only 1080p. So guys, in conclusion, I know I'm pretty new to trail cameras, but I have done a lot of research on trail cameras. I've watched many reviews of other models, hours of reviews over the last few years, and this is the one that finally got me to take the plunge. And compared to the trail camera I bought a family member, this is like leaps and bounds ahead of it, and that's why I bought a second one. And I hope to use this in my pet search and rescue business, because I think this would be a valuable tool to see if a lost pet is still in an area. Of course, it would be even greater if I had cellular access to it, but that brings it up to a whole other level. I'm not sure if this small of a solar panel is going to work for that, so we'll see. I hope CamPark continues to advance their products, because this one is excellent. I highly recommend it. If you guys are interested in purchasing this, as I said before, check the links down in the description. They are Amazon affiliate links that do help support my channel. So I hope this review was helpful. If it was, I'd appreciate if you hit like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys later.